Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the AMX 13F3AM. It's the Tier 6 French SPG located on the north spawn of Pearl River. This one is under the command of talon1958 of OLIMP. Game on. Well, as you know, Angelina's currently in the lead. This was for last weekend's competition. And Talon, well, he's playing catch-up. Angelina, I believe, has a second class and a bruiser at the moment, but Talon could beat that if he can get a first class or a second class with a couple of medals and a slightly better win 8. Anyway, he's parking his AMX 13F3AM, which is, of course, a 155mm howitzer mounted on top of an AMX 13-ton tank hull. And he's aiming right for the village entrance, trying to get a shot in there. Enemy have turned up, but from this position and the low trajectory of the AMX 13F3, he really can't get a shot in there at the moment because it's just the wrong angle, I'm afraid. The north spawn on Pearl River is a particularly difficult one to take advantage of. Okay, we've got an Achilles on the move. Oh, fantastic shot. That's a penetration and a wipeout with one shot. 680 hit points. He has to have penetrated him. The alpha on this Arty is only 630. So to get the full amount, yeah, that was very, very good indeed. Shows average damage 770 there. I wonder if he's showing the HE version. There's the 630 for standard. Okay, so he's using the premium HE, no stun HE, but he got the pen that's necessary. The armor piercing will do 420 alpha, 194mm of pen. Okay, dialing in on the Wolverine. Rounds out, looks good. Oh my god, he's done another one! He's got another kill! Superb! Completely destroyed that Wolverine. The shell must have gone straight through him and taken him out of the game. And again, so it does seem that the non-stun HE is having a desirable effect upon Talon, because he does dial in to get a very, very accurate shot. Those accurate shots are proving fatal, lethal for the enemy tanks. Trying to find a solution. He's having to look round all over the place. He's found a target he can hit, and it's a Panzer F5, but unfortunately he went down very, very quickly after he got spotted. Oh, he's found another one, and this one is a good one. It's a T1 Heavy. Slightly more difficult to take out, and he's got a partially obscure rescue. But the T1 managed to dodge the shell. He didn't know the shell was actually inbound because it arrived very quickly. But he hesitated for just a moment, and that was all he needed in order to avoid the shell. Now, the standard reload for this Arty is 30.58 seconds. And we can see Talon's got a reload time 24.77. Okay, he's dialing in as quickly as he can. That's about right. Rounds out. Direct hit, 173. Well, it's definitely having an effect, this extra HE. Of course, you don't get stun, and that means you don't get stun assist. That can make it difficult to actually get a mastery. because you have to get a lot of damage in order to get the mastery. But his team is doing well, because they've already got now 11 kills, and there's only 4 enemies left in the game. And 2 of those are mediums, and the other 2 are the Arty. So it means that it's very likely they're going to win the game. And it means that Talon also needs to get a lot of damage. He's already got 1,323 by the book. By what's actually showing, rather. And there was no blind shots or anything like that. One of the enemy mediums has just gone down. And there goes the other one. So now it's just the Arty. And he just needs to get as close as he can, or at least get dialed in before our teammates arrive, so that he can get a quick shot in before they wipe them out. I'll actually go up onto the hill just on the left there to get ready to shoot. You want a direct line or an angle so that you can actually shoot into that corner. One of the Artys has just gone down. That was the M44. He got spotted. And now we've got an angle into the back, so we might be able to spot him. The enemy just managed to kill our Hummel. The enemy Hummel managed to kill our IKV652. There he is! Dialing in as quickly as we can. Rounds out. Well, he got a piece of him. 111, but of course no stun. And there's the end of the game. Here's the end of battle results, and that was a third-class tanker for talon1958 in the AMX 13 F3AM. He managed to get a Reaper badge as well for getting at least 3 enemies in a row. Now, presumably that included a previous game that he played, and because he only got 2 kills in the game. But he also managed to get a Bruiser Medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in the game, and he managed to get 6 in total. And his win rate in the game was 2,655, but sadly it doesn't beat Angelina. As I said, second class in the bruiser she's got at the moment, which means she retains the lead. But it was a good game in terms of damage for Talon, because he actually managed to get the highest damage in the game. 1,434, not enough for a high caliber because it wasn't 20% of the enemy hit pool, but it was the highest damage overall. The second highest being the Hummel on the enemy team, 1,418, and the third highest being the Type T34 on his own team, 1,192. When it came to kills, though, the IKV652 managed to get 4 kills. 3 kills went to the T37 and the Hummel on the enemy team, and 2 kills went to Talon and the Panzer IV Ausführung H. And when it came to base XP, he's a little further down the table with 546, but the top scorers were the Type T34, the IKV652, and the P43 Biz, both of whom had 657 base. He fired only 5 rounds in the game, so you can see with that extra HE shells, and of course his ability to dial in accurately on the enemy, he managed to get 3 direct hits and 2 penetrating shots, 2 splash, and picked up 2 kills. 1,434 hit points of damage. Damage 4 of the enemy, killed 2 of them, and did 113 hit points of damage assist. He earned a profit of 92,957 credits from that game, getting 65,000 as mission completion, and 1,638 on a premium count as well. So it was profitable, and he says, well, at least it was a win. Well, yes, but something important that it told us is that a very accurate shooter with the extra HE round can generate kill shots on the enemy. So yes, the fact that it put him not only at the top of the damage table, but it certainly did wipe out 2 enemy tanks very, very quickly. The only problem, as I said, is that it doesn't generate stun assist, and the stun assist gives you a slightly lower mastery than before, because he needed a second class and 2 medals really to beat Angelina. He didn't get that. So nice try on this attempt, but there is another replay in, so we'll go straight to that one and see how he gets on in that. In the second game, we can see that Talon's now moved to the Sand River map, and he's on the west spawn. Okay, game on. Tier 7 game with Tier 6 tanks in it. He's decided to situate himself right next door to the cap area. I always try to knock down the camp when I leave the cap area, go to a new position. I know a lot of players just ignore it. And in fact, actually, somebody was saying the other day that you should actually try and get rid of the camp, because it is one place that the enemy can hide, but it's also an indication that you might be there. So if somebody was looking for any signal that the enemy Arty was back at their cap, then that would be the place to look. EBR Hotchkiss on the move, fast. Looks like he's doing a quick scouting run through the gap. In fact, he stopped for a short while, but instead he's going over to the south side of the map, because we've got a super chappy up there, and he's doing a quick initial spotting run, and that does make him vulnerable. He's trying to dial in as quickly as he can. Lost sight of the guy, so decided not to shoot, which is the correct thing to do as well. You shouldn't shoot just on the presumption that somebody's still there, because they'll more than likely change position. Going back to the Hotchkiss, we can still hear him, even though we can't see him, and he's been joined by an LTG. And then down in the valley, or the riverbed I should say, we've got a Jackson. So he's in that little firing position there, trying to shoot up the valley at our guys who pushed in very, very quickly. And the first shot actually gets a direct hit on the Jackson. So he's already clobbered one of them. Still got that reload time, 24.77. That's probably with a BIA crew, a loader, a rammer rubber, and a gun laying device. Somebody was saying to me the other day, should you actually have the rotation device? Well, there's various schools of thought about having a rotation device, and what they're suggesting is that the rotation device actually does assist to keep the actual the dial-in as you change between targets. So if your vehicle has to move because it's got a narrow arc, of course the AMX 13F3 does have a narrow arc. It's only 35 degrees. We got a shot into the side there. If it's got a narrow arc of only say 35 degrees, it means your vehicle does have to move quite a lot. And as the vehicle moves, by having a rotation device, it actually reduces the amount of dispersion whilst you're moving, increases the speed at which your vehicle turns, and also actually helps you to rounds out the KV2. Yeah, close, but no cigar on that one. But it actually does reduce the dispersion between targets, which means you dial in quicker. The gun laying drive means that you get that reduction regardless whether the tank moves or not. But others say that the bonus is in actually having the vehicle able to turn much, much quicker, as well as the dispersion factor. Rounds out in the LTG. Close, but not quite. Again, Talon is very good at moving between firing positions. He's very aware that you do need to keep changing position every now and then, just to make sure that the enemy Arty can't get a quick shot at you. We've seen a few players recently who've sent in replays where they haven't moved, and as a consequence they did get counter-batteried. And the EBR's now moved a little bit closer towards our cap, but we've got dialed in. Rounds out. Just went behind him. And again, I think this is another reason why Talon is actually moving towards the heights, because if those enemy tanks do get close enough, then they might spot him. They are basically like tanks, and they tend to have high view ranges. We don't really want to get spotted because the enemy does have two Artys, an AMX 13F3 AM and an M44. And oh dear, we just lost our M4A1 FL10. And now the enemy are moving much closer to our cap. And unfortunately, that shot didn't work either. So he's got two choices here. It can either go up the hill, or he can go round the rock and up the hill that way. That would expose him to being seen by the KV2s, as you can see, down in the valley. So he's elected to go up the hill. Again, I think that's the correct move, because you're less likely to be seen by those KV2Rs. If you go up the slope, you might be seen by them. And he's now parking himself behind the rock. That means he can get a shot on these EBRs and the T36s. Or T36, the LTG rather, I should say. Oh, now lead. Close, but no, not quite. Because he's not using the stun, think he is using the extra HE still. Yes, he is. There's no stun. One of the things you need to do with a light tank is you need to slow them down. And yes, the FV304 did slow down that EBR by taking him out of the game. So again, I think sometimes it does work actually having the stun HE, because of course you can slow down the enemy light tanks, and that gives your teammates a chance to get the kill on them. Now he's moving north because of course there's no enemy between him and the enemy tanks to the south, so he needs to get the other side of the river to ensure that he's safe, because when those guys get to the hill they'll look down and they'll be looking for any of the Arty. Okay, he's decided to go down into the riverbed. He's found one of the enemy Arty. The AMX 13F3 just got spotted by the T71DA. We're not going to be dialed in before the T71 gets a shot at him, but we might finish him off. Rounds out. Oh, we got a splash. 169. Unfortunately, the AMX did manage to kill the T71, but we spotted both of the enemy Arty down there. So we have the idea where they are in the vicinity. If they don't relocate, then he'll have another shot at them. Now he is protecting himself. Now you can see the T-34 2GFT is actually just the other side of the hill, is near the cap area. FV304 is just passing us there at the moment, and Talon is getting ready for a shotgun. He's still firing the extra HE, the non-stun. And now the T-34 2GFT has come down into the riverbed, so he's angling his gun down. It's pointing down because he's gone up the slope to get a shotgun as soon as that T-34 2G gets close. They're going to proximity spot him very shortly because they are very, very close. One's above him at this moment. They are going to lose this game, but it's a question of how much they go down with, and the T-34 knows he's here, but he's reluctant to come out, and that's a kill. That's a very good kill. Nicely done. Now the Jackson's coming down. He's only got one hit point. Ram him. If he's only got one hit point, he's very vulnerable. So we get hit by the 90mm, but that's the second kill. Unfortunately, it was also us at the same time because we did take a hit and we were wiped out, but he took someone with him, so 2 kills. Meanwhile, our EBR Hotchkiss is up the other end of the map looking for the enemy Arty. I think that was very well played by Talon. He knew what was going wrong. He knew that the team were going to give way and fold. So he put himself in a position where he could get shots on the enemy and managed to stay alive long enough to do so. Nice that he got the shotgun. The T-34 2GFT totally underestimated what he could do with those non-stun HE because they really are quite powerful. And so he went out the game. And then again, the Jackson, well, I think he ignored the fact that he only had 1 hit point left. He knew he could get a quick 90mm round into Talon, but he should have thought about switching to the HE because he could have taken Talon out with 1 shot with that. The AMX-13 is an exposed Arty. It doesn't have any armor as such except in the main vehicle. And so 1 HE round would have killed all the crew and wiped them out. And I think the Hotchkiss is going to be too late to reset the cap. And they capped out. Oh! Well, that was a good attempt to get some damage and some kills before the game was over. Unfortunately, the rest of his team went up to scratch. Even the EBR got wiped out at the end, and I suppose that gave the enemy team the bonus that they needed. That was an eye for an eye for talon1958 in the AMX-13F3. He also got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 5 exactly. His win rate in the game, 1,789. Sadly, neither of the replays we've just shown will actually count towards the weekend. Well, they are registered in the weekend line, but it means that Angelina has won. She definitely has won, and she's got the weekend line. And Talon will be making her breakfast in bed, so she gets to sleep in a little bit longer, and Talon has to get up and look after Remy as he runs around the house enjoying himself on Sunday morning. So yes, good try. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, the highest damage in that game actually went to the Jackson on the enemy team that Talon actually killed. He got a high caliber in the end. He got 2,858 hit points of damage, but the big mistake he made was he drove in range of Talon, so Talon could actually ram kill him. In fact, the Jackson started moving forward at the moment. He knew that Talon was going to ram kill him anyway, and he probably knew that, yes, even the slightest tap by Talon was going to be enough to take the Jackson out the game. So, yeah, I think he surrendered himself to an eye for an eye for that one. Second highest damage in the game turned out to be our Bert. The FV304 got 2,278. And the third highest, well, that went to the KB2R on the enemy team, 1,725. Talon, 1,176. He was beaten by, let's have a look, 5 members of his of the enemy team and 3 on his own, which means, of course, he's in 9th place when it comes to damage. When it came to kills, though, the top scorer was the Jackson. He got 5 kills, 1 short of getting a top gun in that, 1/3 of our team. And 4 kills went to the Burt, and 3 kills went to the KB2R. With in 4th place, we've got Talon with 2 kills and the KB2R on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, Talon picked up 338. The top scorer was the Jackson, 1,315, the only one to get up over 1,000. And in 2nd place, the Tiger won 871, and the KV2R in 3rd place with 801. He fired 10 rounds in this game, so he was active. 3 direct hits on the enemy, no penetrations, but he did get 4 splash. Damage of 1,176 hit points, of which 774 were at more than 300 meters. So he did do some close range stuff. He did receive 1 hit. It was a penetration. That was the 90mm round from the Jackson. And as I said, he could have killed Talon with an HE round, wiped him out straight off. But he used the wrong shell and gave Talon the opportunity to try and take advantage of him. And he succeeded. He managed to get an eye for an eye by killing the Jackson. 4 enemy vehicles were damaged, 2 were killed, and he earned 11,349 credits profit from the game and 507 XP on a premium count. So 2 good games in terms of, well, he had a bit of fun, but sadly neither of them were actually able to beat Angelina's score. So there you go. Angelina wins again this week. But it's a new week starting, and they have already sent in replays. Yes, the contest starts again on Sunday. So basically, after the Sunday morning, when it's decided who actually has got the weekend line, then they start again. So we've got new replays up. I will do another video for those new replays as soon as I can and put that onto the channel. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.